how might complete crowding out occurs. When government spending increases, the government has to finance spending by competing with private borrowers for funds in the credit market. So interest rate will rise. If interest rate rises, it means increasing the cost of financing purchasing of both physical capital and consumer goods and lowering net exports. So the result is that private spending will fall, C will fall, I will fall, and NX will fall. And so aggregate demand may remain unchanged. The result is that private spending will decrease and the aggregate demand will remain unchanged. So that's why we can say that if the federal government is increasing its expenditures by $50 billion, so the government has to finance this spending by competing with private borrowers for funds in the credit market. So interest rate will rise. If interest rate rises, it means investment decreases. And you also know that NX will also decrease. So look at here. G is increasing, but C, I, NX means private spendings are decreasing in a result. So we can say that C plus I plus G plus NX, which is equal to IAD, has unchanged. It means this increase in government spending is offset by a decrease in these private spendings. But Keynesians do not deny the validity of the first set of steps. They agree that an increase in government spending raises interest rates, which in turn lower private spending. And this is actually a feature of the Keynesian analysis of the aggregate demand. So it means up to this point, they were agree with the monetarist view that yes, when we increase the government spending, the interest rate will decrease. And with the increase in the interest rate, the net exports and plant investment will decrease. So Keynesians were agree with the monetarists up to this point, but they contended that in the short run only partial crowding out occurs because the monetarists were saying that complete crowding out occurs. But Keynesians are of the view that yes, we are agree with you in the context of crowding out, but in the short run, only partial crowding out occurs. What is the difference between the word complete and partial? The Keynesians contended that in the short run, only partial crowding out occurs, that is, some decline in private spending that does not completely offset the rise in government spending. Some decline in private spending. It means not all. For example, if the government increases its expenditures by $50 billion, so private spending will decrease, suppose by $40 billion. It means that some decline has occurred. They are not equal. $50 billion are not equal to $50 billion. So the Keynesian crowding out picture suggests that when government spending rises, aggregate demand does increase and the aggregate demand curve shift to the right. The extent to which crowding out occurs is the issue that separates monetarist and Keynesian view of the aggregate demand curve.